Digimon don't even have natures.
Yeah. Says you.
Hey guys, recently we've been putting up some Pokemon battles recorded from Pokémon Showdown. Many of you have asked to battle us and how to go about doing that, so we're definitely open to battling any of you shiny Dittos out there. So here's a little brief tutorial on how to use Pokemon Showdown.
But before we explain how to use Pokemon Showdown, let's explain what it is real quick. Pokemon Showdown is a browser-based Pokemon battle emulator developed by part of the team over at Smogon, who previously worked on another Pokemon simulator, Pokemon Online. The idea is to offer the same competitive one-on-one battling that the video games offer, but without having to work your way through the single player or having to deal with the pesky Nintendo Wi-Fi rules and settings. The netcode is meant to replicate the gameplay of the actual Pokemon battles as closely as possible, and seems to do a pretty good job as far as we can tell. Considering the game is entirely browser-based, features complete Pokemon animations, music, and backgrounds, as well as an all-around faster system, it's a great alternative to both Pokemon Online and the official Pokemon video games for anybody who loves a quick battle.
First, you're going to want to go to the Pokemon Showdown website. Click the link in the description, or right here, and it should take you to the lobby. Once you're in the lobby, up at the top right corner, you can turn game sounds and music on or off, and change your username. We like to put AD for Adam Ditto at the beginning of our names, so anybody can easily find us in the list of players, and you guys are more than welcome to do the same. Once you've picked your username, you can also change your avatar by typing /avatars and then the corresponding avatar number into the chat on the right. Check the list of avatars at this link for the number of the avatar that you'd like to use.
Next, to make a team, click on the Team Builder on the left. Unfortunately, Pokemon Showdown doesn't have a PC box system like the games or Pokemon Online, so you're forced to group your Pokemon into teams of 6. The website is still in beta, however, so boxes may be implemented in the future, and in the meantime, it's not too difficult to move a Pokemon between teams if you need to.
Click New Team to get started. You can name your team at the top and pick a format from the drop-down menu. We usually play by OU or overused rules, but if you're not sure, just leave it empty.
When you're ready, click on Add Pokemon and start making your team. You can select from a list or just start typing the name of the Pokemon you want. Once you've selected a Pokemon, you can choose its nickname, held item, and ability, if it has more than one. If you click anywhere on this box, you can choose its level, gender, happiness, and whether or not it's a shiny. We always play at level 100, and unless you're using frustration, it's best to just leave the happiness at max.
Click on any of the 4 move slots to choose its moves. At the top, you'll see suggested moves and attacks, and you can click on those, or you can just start typing in the name of the attack into the box. When you've picked your 4 attacks, click on the stats box to choose your nature, EVs, and IVs. It's probably best to pick your nature first, since you can see how it'll change your stats before you start messing with them directly. Now, in the real game, EVs and IVs are hidden stats that affect individual Pokemon's overall stats. They're the reason that 2 identical Pikachus at the same level almost never have exactly identical stats. For more information about EVs and IVs and what they are and how they work, check Cerebi.
By default, everything in Pokemon Showdown has perfect IVs, and it's probably best not to touch them unless you're trying to perfectly replicate an in-game Pokemon, or running a very specific set, such as Counter or Trick Room.
As for EVs, you can type in the numbers in the boxes for each stat, but because of the way EVs work, you should never put more than 252 into any one stat, and you should never put a number that's not divisible by 4 into any stat. If you're not sure, Showdown provides recommended spreads with this button at the top here. When you're done, click this little plus and move on to your next Pokemon.
When you've got a team of 6, click Entire Team, and then make sure you click Save. If you click ImportExport, a text box will appear with your team in text form. I recommend you copy and paste this and save it on your own hard drive in a Word document, in case something ever happened to the server or your cookies. You'll also need to go into this text box if you want to change the order of your Pokemon. Just cut and paste and move them around. If you've used Pokemon Online in the past, you can also use this text box to import teams or individual Pokemon. When you're looking at your team in Pokemon Online, just click Export on the bottom left and copy and paste the text that appears. Importing from Pokemon Online will not save your IVs, but again, except in specific cases, it's best to leave them at 31 anyway. Still, it's a good idea to check them in Showdown's builder after you've imported them.
When you're ready to battle, click Lobby to go back to the lobby. You can either click Looking for Battle or click on somebody's name in the list and then challenge them. Though be careful because the list moves up and down all the time as people join and leave. You can also PM them or join a room that they're already in to spectate. When you're asked to pick a format, you have a lot of options, as you can see. And we usually play on Hackmons because there's no rules and no limitations and no team preview, which most of us don't like. But pay very close attention and make sure you pick Hackmons and not Hacksmons, because Hacksmons is a completely different engine. On Hacksmons, everything is either a crit or a miss, and any added effect like poison or flinch will connect every single time. It's an entirely luck-based metagame, and it's not any fun at all, so make sure you pick Hackmons and not Hacksmons. If you're scared of that happening, just pick OU for overused. That's where most people, including us, prefer to play, though we have sort of a gentleman's agreement not to use legendaries, regardless of what tier they're in. If you do want to use legendaries that are classified as OU or below, we certainly won't stop you, but we'll probably be a little grumpy and snarky about it.
You can also choose random battles, where you're given 6 random Pokemon at varying levels. Random battles can be really fun and unpredictable, and they're especially fun if you haven't made any teams or feel you aren't very good at making teams.
Once you've picked the format, unless it's a random battle, you next have to choose the team you want from the drop-down menu. Be aware that if you have multiple teams, it defaults to the first team you have, and even if you change the format after you've picked your team, it'll reset the team you picked to the first team you have again. If you're challenged by somebody else, it should appear on the left if you're in the lobby, and you can either reject or pick your team from the drop-down menu and accept.
If you're playing on OU, you'll have to pick your lead, and if you have a Zoroark, you'll have to pick your entire team's order to decide who he's disguised as. From here out, though, it's basically just like an in-game Pokemon battle, except that you can sometimes cancel a move if your opponent hasn't decided yet. Click on the attack you want, or the Pokemon you want to switch to, and you should be fine. When the battle is over, if you want to save the replay to watch or share with friends, click Share Replay to convert it to a URL you can copy and paste. Otherwise, click Leave Battle or the X on the left side to leave the room and try again.
If you have any questions, you can post a comment on this video, or you can ask it in the Showdown chat, where they'll probably know much more than we do. If you go to our forums, you can coordinate battles with other Shiny Dittos, you can ask for tips or pointers, and you can share replays that you've saved from Pokemon Showdown. We look forward to battling you guys, so look for us and any other Shiny Dittos with the AD tag at the front of our names.